Welcome back to One Man's Life Mission. The case for learning Daygame is continuing to strengthen day by day. If you have a look at this, there's the title. New South Wales nightclub cracks down on unwanted staring. Yeah, literally. The nightclubs, I would say since the lockdowns, the nightclubs, they are not really capitalist. They become this communist Orwellian nightmare because there's no real competition at the moment. Over time, I wouldn't necessarily worry about this so much because other nightclubs will start having lower cover charges or no cover charges at all to compete, cheaper drinks, better environments. You got to keep in mind, men keep these nightclubs going. You keep these nightclubs going. You are the ones that spend money in the nightclubs. Men do that. Women don't go in there and spend a lot of money. I'm not saying that they never have. It's just rare. The majority of money that's spent in these places are by men, right? So over time, I would say capitalism and the market will get in and competition will start to even out the playing field, and clubs like this will just collapse under their own stupidity. But the case for Daygame continues to be made all over the place. Online dating is very difficult for men. Only the top 10 or 20% if you're lucky in a first world country. This is a first world country. This is Australia. It is only the top 10-20% of men sleep with all the women. And if you get a match, it's someone that you don't want. It's very difficult to get a girl online. And in the nightclubs as well, there is a bit of an age threshold. If you're over a certain age, I would say when you reach about 35-ish, depending on how tall you are, if your height and your age matters a lot. You know, if you're under 6 foot and under 6 foot, under 6'10", under 5'10", say, and you're over 35, that's when you really start to struggle in the nightclubs, even if you have skill. I'm saying if you have skill, if you know what you're doing. So the nightclubs are, it's difficult for many men to get laid in the nightclubs. This is why Daygame is the superior method. Always has been, always will be. But let's have a look at this little video. I think this guy gets interviewed. Let's see if I can get it up without an ad. Please don't be an ad.
Take it to the next level. Gamble responsibly. No, we mean it. So we've taken gamble responsibly to the
take a
next
break,
level
guys.
with Ned's Punter Assist.
We're going
Take
to learn
gambling
about
responsibly
gambling.
to the Ned's level.
You can't look at girls,
Gamble
but they're...
responsibly.
Let's picture this, close your eyes for a second. You're out on a Saturday night, you're on the town, you're having a boogie with your friends on the D floor. Suddenly a good-looking girl or a good-looking lad just catches your eye. You're kind of interested, so you try and catch their eye. It's old school stuff, but in a flash, you're being shown the door, kicked out by the bouncer for non-consensual staring.
Well, that is exactly what partygoers in Sydney could soon be contending with. The Daily Telegraph is reporting a Darlinghurst nightclub has banned staring without verbal consent. And Dane Gorrell, who owns the club, he joins us live. Dane, my friend.
Don't look at him.
Don't. I mean, dating's kind of already hard enough. Have you just made it impossible?
Not really, no. Like, realistically, we just implemented a new safety and harassment policy into the club. We've done a lot of research on this over the past, few months, especially over COVID, and we've just sort of taken a direction, or not even taken a direction. We just want anyone that comes into our venue to feel safe the entire time they're in the venue.
By their nature, nightclubs, they're a kind of a happy hunting ground for some. No, they are. I mean, you get together, have a pash, and then go home. But that's the
In
kind
the
of nature.
80s, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Well, didn't you do that?
No.
So what's the line in the sand there, big fella? I mean, obviously some guys get creepy, but what's the line in the sand generally?
Yeah, I've just noticed that you guys can't really see this, but you can at least hear what they're saying. They're interviewing the guy. Let's just hear what they have to say. I think even this morning show presenter that's interviewing the guy that runs this nightclub is aware of how stupid this is.
That is done without consent. That's the line in the sand. So basically, if it's not consensual, then obviously we're going to have a talk with the perpetrator, whoever is involved, and make sure that the person that's feeling uncomfortable or has any unwanted attention is taken care of.
Okay, so someone's...
Okay, so let's decode that. The perpetrator. So there's a perpetrator. You're looking at a girl across the dance floor, or you're at the bar and you look at the girl that's like near you. You have to let's decode that. What he's really saying is you need to understand your place in society. That's what he's really saying. He's saying that your money's not worth anything here. Only the better looking, more attractive men's money is worth something. So if a girl is getting stared at by a good looking guy, tall, handsome, young, good looking guy from across the dance floor, I doubt she's going to be calling security. But if the guy's unattractive, she doesn't like him, she doesn't like, he's not tall enough, he's too old, or he's too young, or he's too young. Younger guys will probably get away with it. But the real message here is there's no way for you to gauge consent under these circumstances. There's absolutely no way. The fact that you would go over to a girl and ask her, is it okay if I stare at her? That's impossible to do. Going over and starting a conversation would be hard enough as it is. And what it's doing really is saying that certain men do not have a right to be in society. If you look at something or someone, if you look at a girl, you don't have a right to be there, and you'll be kicked out. You might have paid for a drink and they'll kick you out. They will violently kick you out, whether it is verbal violence by saying, look, you need to get out. I would argue that that is a form of violence, especially when you're trying to finish your drink and you're just staring at some cutie across the dance floor. Physical violence, if you say, hang on, look, can I just finish my drink? And they say, no, you can't finish your drink that you paid for, get out. This is also for nutcase malevolent, I couldn't even say that correctly, psychopathic women who hate men, which seems to be increasing by the day. This is another weapon that she could be using. Who knows, maybe Amelia Hearst could be one of them. Why'd you even write this article? It's disgusting. But the point here is that you need to know your place, and you have to assume that your place is below the woman. So the woman who's it's very doubtful that she's buying all the drinks in there. She's probably, but that's not really not really an issue. The issue is that you need to guess what your place is, and if you're a good-looking guy, you still have to assume that you are beneath women. This is a shift that is happening in Western society. You and me, the men that really keep society running, the men that lay bricks, and the men that build buildings, the men that do all the hard work and get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and build these countries, the men that fight and die to make sure that the country's safe so that women can go out to these nightclubs and have money, because that money comes from the deaths of Anzacs. Anzacs are people who fought and died for Australia, diggers that fought and died for Australia. This country would be a third world country if they didn't fight for this country. It would have been invaded by Japan in World War II. There's so many reasons why men need to be treated with more respect in society, but it seems like it's going the opposite direction. And by the looks of the guy, the nightclub owner, he doesn't look like the type of guy that really gets laid very much. These things you can't really control. Sure, we can sit around and hope that the entire system collapses and China takes over, and but you're gonna die anyway. They're gonna throw you at the guns first and save the women regardless. Women will always be the protected species within society. So you can't really use this as, oh, okay, well, what do I do, right? I need to try and hack the nightclubs. You can still go to the nightclubs, just need to be a bit more careful. But the case for Daygame continues to strengthen day on day on day. And this is why I coach Daygame. It's because you can have a conversation with anyone during the day, safely, covert conversations. You don't have to be outrageous. You're allowed to speak to anybody in your day-to-day life, in the shops, in the malls, anywhere. You have a right to talk to anybody. The same way those charity workers stand on the corner and go hi and try to sell charity, or I had someone trying to sell me some food. It's like you pay a subscription to have food delivered to your home. Taxis and all these other things. People stand on the corners and do that all the time. I'm not saying that you need to be as have a poor strategy like those charity or those salespeople that stand out on the corner, but you can still start up a conversation in a nice, smooth, indirect, covert way. Even under these circumstances where the world is going crazy, you can still meet women, get laid, got yourself a girlfriend, and get married through cold approach. I recommend that you try that. I also recommend that you learn cold approach from someone like myself. Come and do some Daygame training and learn the sweet art of cold approach. Things are changing, but that doesn't mean there's no hope. There are many options, and we just need to be on, as men in a damaged society that seems to be slowly collapsing day on day. There's still ways around these things. You can still win under these circumstances, and that's what I like to argue, is that there's still options. There's still hope. You don't have to worry. It's not that bad. Oh, actually, hang on. I just figured out how to do it. Now you can see him. It was a button I should have pushed. Well, now you see him. Isn't he a handsome devil? This is... look at that. The double chin. He's unshaved. But you see how he's unshaved doesn't look as good as mine? Look at that. Look at that. And you can kind of see that I have more of a happy life. This guy's up till 4 a.m. in the morning. He's like, so you see my skin just looks healthier. His is all just like, looks like a zombie, big chubby cheeks and a big double chin. This is the type of men that are placating to women. Most of them are like male feminists that think that virtue signaling, I can't talk today, will help them get laid. When it doesn't, all you're doing is simping. Simping doesn't get you anywhere. All it does is denigrate society. But that's what this guy's doing. In my opinion, I think it's quite offensive for him to tell someone not to stare at somebody. Where's the evidence of that? And I dare say that if someone accuses you of if a girl abuses her newfound weapon to take on a man in the nightclub, you might have bumped into her accidentally, go, sorry. She's like, hey, goes over to security. He was staring at me. I don't think that you're going to get access to a tribunal, CCTV cameras to plead your case. They're just going to violently kick you out. Now, this is society. I can see it on the guy's face. He doesn't seem like the reasonable type of guy that's going to go, oh, well, you just spent $100 on drinks. Maybe you're too drunk too. That's another weapon they can use against you. There's so many pitfalls, and drinking too much. You can become an alcoholic and damage your brain. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't really be hitting these clubs. You can go to them sober, I would say, and try to pick up girls. But also, yeah, turning up sober will also keep you out of trouble. Maybe some of these, if everyone learnt Daygame, then these nightclubs would just collapse. This guy would become unemployed, his business would collapse, and he'll get what he deserves, because what he's doing is discriminating against men. Ultimately, that's what he's doing. But the case for learning Daygame strengthens day on day on day, and I recommend that you guys get some coaching with me. Go to my website and sign up to do some Daygame coaching with me. There are ways that you can get a girlfriend, and you don't have to be drinking, taking any sort of drugs every weekend, battling these insane rules that they're discriminating against you. It's worse than racism. This is worse than racism. It's just discrimination against men. That's exactly what it is, and it's far worse than racism, because racism might be discriminating against a small minority. This is 50% of society. He's literally telling you that you are worthless as a human being, because there's no way that you're going to get a fair go in a nightclub that doesn't want you looking at girls. Why are you even in there spending the premium amount of money on these drinks as well? Look, I can go on about how insane this is forever, but the hack is learning Daygame with someone like myself. Come out, and we'll get you a girlfriend, and then on the weekends, instead of hanging out with nutcase nightclub owners that have henchmen that can bash you to death on the weekend just for looking, and you might not even be looking at the girl. You could have been looking at what drinks are on the bar there, trying to read the bottle, and the girl's standing at the bar thinking you're staring at her. Next thing you know, you got two massive monkey bloody security guards manhandling you, maybe injuring you, maybe even assaulting you, dragging you out of the place for absolutely no reason. And myself, it's happened to me many times. A lot of security guards are actually pretty cool, by the way, but I have had some bad experiences, but mainly in smaller little bars and things like that run by nutcases outside of the city. Inside the city is actually pretty cool if you know most of the security guards, but still, they're turning the screws on us, men. And it's really unfair. Go to the website, learn some Daygame from myself, get yourself a girlfriend, and then on the weekend, you and your girlfriend can hang out at your place and have a few drinks and watch a movie instead of hanging out in nutcase venues like this. Go to the bottle shop, grab a few drinks, stay at home with her. Mwah. Solve all of your problems, and you can meet her during the day and avoid getting beaten up by security for accidentally looking in the wrong direction. These people are insane. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.